Well, today the topic that you and I have gotten ready for is about an epidemic here in the United States. And I can think of no more dramatic way to introduce the topic that we're going to discuss than to point out that the last 2 years have seen the life expectancy here in the United States drop for 2 years in a row. We haven't had that for half a century in this country. Other countries are not experiencing this sort of thing. Life expectancy is getting longer. And when you look at the statistics, as everybody has pointed out, it's not that our elderly are dying sooner. They aren't. It's what's happening are young people, people in their 20s and 30s, who are dying in disproportionate numbers. And it's very easy, once you look at the statistics, to find out what the problem is. It's called opioids. It's called a disaster in which opioids, which I'm going to ask you about, are taken in too great a quantity or in too great a strength, and basically people kill themselves by overdosing on this drug. So it is having staggering effects. And to give us some idea, perhaps we can start off by your telling us what's the scope, the scale of this problem in the United States.
Well, there are estimated to be 2 million addicts in the United States. However, there are probably a lot more people don't answer questions and say, hey, I'm an addict. So, you have a wild death rate, not only in the 20s and teens, but also the 30s and 40s. Opioid addiction, overdose, is now the biggest cause of accidental death for people under 50. The biggest cause in the United States. Since the year 2000, 200,000 people have died of overdoses, usually from opioids, which are synthetic opiates. Opiates are things like heroin that are grown, poppy extracts. Opioids are chemical opiates. They're things like fentanyl or OxyContin, oxycodone, OxyContin, and oxycodone being the biggest offenders, the biggest killers of all.
And what's the number for 2016, the last year we have? How many people died from overdoses of these drugs?
64,000 people died directly from overdoses. Another 95,000 died from the indirect causes of opiate addiction.
Wow. So this is off the charts. This is an unbelievable killer.
Worse than AIDS.
Worse than almost anything one can think of. More deaths in a year than any war we've participated in for decades has caused. I mean, I'm overwhelmed every time I see this number, thanks to your intervention.